Okay, here we're being asked to do some basic arithmetic problems. It's really just adding, subtracting, and multiplying, dividing. But it's complicated by the fact that there are units here, so we have to figure out what to do with the units. And by units, I mean things like yards, feet, miles, gallons, feet squared. So there's some tricks to know about dealing with the units. The first one here says, what is the sum in yards? And then they give you 5 yards plus 9 feet. Well, you can't add or subtract quantities unless the units are the same. So we've got to convert one of these into the other unit. Since they're asking for the answer in yards, you'd want to convert the 9 feet into yards. So you need to know, first of all, how many feet are there in a yard? And if you don't know this, it's a good one to write down. 1 yard equals 3 feet. Although you could just look that up on the internet, type in how many feet in a yard in a search engine, you'll get an answer. 3 feet in a yard. So if there are 9 feet, if I chop that up into 3 feet segments, I would get 3 segments. So there are 3 yards there. And this problem just becomes 5 yards plus 3 yards. And 5 plus 3 is 8. So I have 8 yards. That's all there is to that one. All right, this next one here says divide, and it has 320 miles divided by 80 gallons. And when you're doing this multiplying and dividing of units, I usually like to just think about the two parts a little bit separately. I'll do the number part first, and then I'll work with the units part. So just doing the number part, 320 divided by 80, let's see, that would be 4. I think that's right. You can punch that into your calculator. And now, miles divided by gallons doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. There's nothing I can do with it. Miles are different from gallons. So really, we just kind of leave that the way it is. And we get miles divided by gallons, although the way we say this is miles per gallon. And you might notice that as the unit we use for figuring out mileage in a car. Although if your car was getting 4 miles per gallon, that'd be pretty bad mileage. This next one down here, it says 10 feet squared divided by 5 feet. Again, let's take this one part at a time. 10 divided by 5, that's easy, that's 2. Now, feet squared divided by feet can trip some people up. If you have feet squared, anything squared is the thing multiplied by itself, so it's really feet times feet. And then on the bottom of this, I'm just looking at this part separately now. You have feet. So the units part of this is a fraction that looks like this. And when you have stuff multiplied, on the top and the bottom, no addition or subtraction up here, and it's a fraction like this, if you see something that's the same on the top and the bottom, you can do what's called canceling. So I've got 1 foot unit on the top, another foot unit on the bottom. They're the same top and bottom, so they cancel. And what I'm left with is just feet. So 10 feet squared divided by 5 feet is just 2 feet. And we've got one more to take a look at here. This says multiply 7 centimeters times 6 centimeters. And once again, I'm going to do the number part first, and then I'm going to look at the units part. Well, 7 times 6, that's 42. You can check that on your calculator. And now we have centimeters times centimeters. And as I was talking about with the feet squared, something times itself is that thing squared. So centimeters times centimeters is going to equal centimeters squared. And that's our unit. And our answer there would be 42 centimeters squared. So that's how to do some of these arithmetic problems with units.